Good evening and thanks for joining us for 10 News at 11. I'm Jessica Jewell. We begin tonight with one person dead and another in the hospital after a shooting in South Boston. Police tell 10 News it happened just before 6 this evening on Old Halifax Road near the Dollar General parking lot. 10 News reporter Magdala Lusat was there this afternoon as they voted. She joins us live in Amherst. Magdala, what's the reaction there tonight? A Rockbridge County town put on a grand Christmas parade tonight in honor of a little boy dealing with a rare disease. The parade raised money for the boy and his family while also bringing some holiday cheer to the town. A decades-long tradition took over Salem today. Tens of thousands of people took a walk on Main Street for Old Salem Days. You may say this is just bananas. Take a look. This piece of art, a banana duct taped to a wall, has now added up to sell for $150,000. Turning a jail sentence into a success story. That's what's happening with inmates at the Blue Ridge Regional Jail. The facility recently started offering inmates a manufacturing class.
10 News reporter Shane Dwyer is live tonight. He's at the South County Library ahead of the event. And Jessica, I think we need to comment on Shane's attire.
I think we do, because you've got the tie, but he's got the whole get-up. He is ready for this tree lighting. Check it out.
What? Shane, walk us through your ensemble there.
Today, people of all ages in Roanoke County got the opportunity to get up close and personal with unique modes of transportation they're not usually able to touch. Not only are the winds picking up with these very, very strong wind gusts, the rain is picking up, slamming into us so hard that it hurts. You see the wind blowing this rain across the parking lot in sheets. Starting to see some ponding here in the parking lot, whipping through the trees, shaking light poles, shaking the stop signs, and it is getting stronger by the minute. Bear with us here as our crew is trying to bring you the images of this storm, but you see how strong it is by how much this is rocking all of us. Buzz Williams is certainly the buzz here on campus tonight, but it's really more of a buzzkill. Not hard to see why. Take a look at the banners hanging in the rafters here at Castle Coliseum. NCAA tournament appearances 2017, 2018, soon to be a 2019 banner hanging there. But before that, it was an entire decade since the Hokies had made it to the big dance. And that's why a lot of fans today are calling this the toughest loss of the season. I was out here a year ago in the aftermath of the tornado, and this area looked like a war zone. Many of these houses you see behind me were leveled or ripped apart, debris everywhere. They've certainly come a long way, but as you can see, they've still got a long way to go. This community that was once defined by what happened to it is now being defined by how they're moving forward. Did you sleep at all last night? We sure didn't, Jenna. Carter and I, a photographer, we didn't sleep at all. But, you know, it was so exciting. The streets were packed with thousands of people. It's hard to imagine it now, but try to picture thousands of fans rushing the corner here, trying to get to downtown Charlottesville to celebrate that historic moment. Gas is practically gold. I will tell you, my photographer Carter and I are trying to be diligent when we go out. We try to top off our gas tanks, and that's been very difficult. Every single time we have had trouble getting gas. Now, we have been able to find it, but a lot of stations running out. Same story for grocery stores looking for water. So everyone kind of scrambling for supplies here, guys. Amber Nicely and Lindsay Cartwright are celebrating 1 week with their new baby boy.
He's just learning the world.
He's healthy. Amber's healthy, so I have no real complaints.
The staff at Lewis Gale is still keeping an eye on Parker, born 2 weeks before his due date. An early entrance that no one saw coming.
About a time 911, where's your emergency?
Yes, sir. Currently, I'm at the road work at Eagle Rock, but we're driving. My girlfriend is currently in labor, and her water just broke, and I don't think she's going to make it to Salem.
And they didn't. Just a couple minutes and a couple miles after calling 911.
If y'all need to pull over, I can talk you through the child better.
Okay.
They had to pull off into this gravel parking lot.
They're now advising they're having a pullover at the Craig Creek
On the side of 220 in Botetourt County. A lot they'd seen many times before, but never quite like this.
We're not in a sterile situation. Anything can happen. I was trying to tell myself not to do it.
But next thing she knew...
Oh, God.
He's out.
The baby's out?
Yeah,
What if he wasn't breathing when he came out?
we've got him.
Okay.
Come on. He's breathing.
I check and he's looking back at me.
A life-changing moment for a father delivering a baby for the first time after a decade of working as an EMT.
I did not want to do my first childbirth on mine.
And for the mother who caught her own son.
The first thing he did, he looked at me and he said, "Good job," you know, and I was like,
Their fears finally at ease when first responders took them to Lewis Gale.
We had our last son at Salem, and we had this one kind of here.
A healthy son named Parker. And no,
they were like, "Are you naming him Parker because you had a park to have him?"
pun not intended.
We've had this name picked out for a few months now, and like it's kind of has its own meaning now to him.
A special name and a special story.
Normally you have the hospital pictures, but with this, it's in the side of our car.
Yeah, he had a sense of urgency, but he's like, I think he just wanted to come hang out, you know.
Of the baby who just couldn't wait for his whirlwind welcome.
Glad everything seems to be going okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Jessica Jewell, 10 News, working for you. Take a look at this video. You see the police officer sitting right here eating lunch when she suddenly jumps up and runs across the restaurant to help this woman who is trying to save her 2-week-old great-grandson's life. Tonight, for the first time, the officer sees this video of her heroic efforts and tells us why training was only a part of why she was able to save the baby. Mary Lou Atwell was eating lunch with family Tuesday when all of a sudden,
he wasn't breathing. He was purple.
Her 2-week-old great-grandson started choking.
All I knew to do was, with an infant, is pat him on the back, and that's all I knew to do.
Her desperate attempts to save Lucas captured in surveillance video.
And I was just praying, you know, somebody please come and help me because I can't do this. It's not working.
Seconds later, an answer to her prayers.
And I took him from her into my arms and turned him over in my hand and started a Heimlich.
Danville police officer Melissa Carey trying relentlessly to revive Lucas.
Probably one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life.
And I'm sure it was a very short seconds. It felt like forever.
Continuing the Heimlich maneuver as she lays the tiny infant on her leg.
Just, dear God, please save him.
Until finally, Lucas starts breathing.
After working on him and seeing his face and his eyes wouldn't open, and to roll him over and watch him take his first breath, and knowing he was going to be okay, that was hard. That was hard.
Carrie is still trying to process the chaos that she calls one of the most important moments in her career, but says a mix of adrenaline, training, and motherly instincts came over her.
I couldn't hear anything other than a woman's voice who was praying nearby, and I knew at that point that God had just put me there, you know, in the right place at the right time to be able to save baby Lucas.
An officer turned hero, springing into action and going beyond the badge.
She's my new best friend.
Don't make me cry.
To give a baby a future he may not have seen otherwise.
Without her, he wouldn't be here.
He's a beautiful baby. He's got a beautiful family, and I'm just so glad that I was there to be able to help him.
Lucas is still getting checked out by doctors today, but is doing well. Meanwhile, his great-grandmother says she plans to renew her CPR certification, so if needed, she can be a hero one day, too. In studio, I'm Jessica Jewell, 10 News, working for you. The remnants of a house
Took me almost 3 years to build.
that was once a home.
It's hard to see 40 years demolished.
Destroyed.
Just a mess.
A mess Mother Nature started.
It's hard to believe in a matter of 20 seconds it was all destroyed.
And 2 days of demolition will finish.
Tornado demolished it, it just cleaned up the pieces. Just changed our lives forever. Hopefully for the better.
Starting demolition today, an important next step for Larry Anderson.
It hurts, but it's just something part of what's got to happen.
But for his wife, Dolores,
She said she didn't want to see it tore down. It just hurt too bad.
a painful reminder of the storm she watched take her home and nearly take her life. In the hours after the tornado, dozens of friends, family members, and strangers jumped in to help the Andersons salvage what they could. Clothes, pictures.
Whole lot of memories.
The pictures aren't the most important thing.
My wife's life. She was very lucky that she didn't get hurt.
Today, a critical milestone on their road to recovery, with signs of hope along the way.
I've got over the shock part, and really I know what's going to happen, so just go ahead just like it's a regular day. Hope each day gets better.